So I'm in the Georgian House in Edinburgh in Charlotte Square. We've just been looking around the house and seeing what sort of things the lady of the house would keep in a medicine cabinet, what type of food that they would eat at the dinner table, all the different courses, and the fashions as well. Really interesting looking at some of the robes that they would have worn, and the fact that the Georgian ladies, there was a fashion for copying countrywomen and the sort of peasant clothing as we call it today, only it was a bit of a mockery really. You wouldn't normally see peasants wearing long white robes in the middle of the countryside. So come upstairs, this is the top floor, and behind me you see that everybody is trying on costumes, and I'm going to go and dress up like a Georgian as well.
Yeah, exactly. People always go to the tourist places in the old town and about
going to museums. This is me,
Yeah.
dressed up as a Georgian. I like it. I'm going to keep it on.
The bed was made in 1774 for Thomas Hogg of New Liston, and it was the drapes themselves were made by Lady Mary Hogg. But she would have had a book that went along with a book of symptoms. And when you went and said, oh, I've got a bellyache, I've got this or that, the next thing, which she generally did, and when you go to the dining room, you will discover why.
Yeah, at the time Lance lived here, it was a practice to show off your bedroom. Because again, if you've got a nice big 4-person bed,
Why would she have poison in her medicine cabinet?
I think part of it is that they knew that some of the things would be damaging for them, but they didn't know anything else. They knew that it could help in terms of some of the medicines that they would do. So something like the chloroform, which we would say is a poison, they knew they could use it for other things rather than putting people to sleep. So it was just, they were experimenting, they were getting to know a lot more about what was going on in the medical and the chemical world.
Go inside, you've got the gravy, and there's a little compartment. They put boiling water into that.
Oh, to keep it warm.
And the spout, as you can see, is quite low, and that was to stop any yes.
The reason for it, when you know, you think, yeah, well, that's true. You're sitting there, you want to show off, then you can walk across there. And then the dancing, of course, was entirely different.
This would be more slightly later than when the house was built, probably about 1810.
Yeah.
It is a cotton dress. It's colourful, which is not necessarily associated with Regency fashion. When you think of, like, say, Pride and Prejudice and all that, you might think of white dresses. And that was popular from about 1790 up until about 1810. But colour did return, mainly prompted by Napoleon Bonaparte, the French emperor.
And the sugar in this was about £2,000. So we went through about 4 of these per month.
4 of this mountain of sugar in front of me? A month?
A month.
In a household like this?
Yes.
Gosh. Wow. And what would it be in? What just cakes or tea? Or
Everything. Because again, no refrigeration would have been tainted.
Oh, right. So it's for preservation as well as for taste.
Yes. Jams and jellies, again, very important things as well. Cakes and pastries.
Wealthy people bought teeth of poor people.
Purely and simply for image, not because they ate with them, just for image.
So they'd be fixed into some sort of plate.
It was called a plaque.
A plaque.
And there were 2 pieces of wood with a spring on either side, and they fitted into the mouth with the teeth on underside or the top side. And that's where 2 expressions came from. Can you not shut up or keep your mouth closed? Because they couldn't, because they were on springs. So they found it hard to keep their mouths closed. So that's where these 2 expressions came from.
Amazing. So when we see the period dramas on telly with all their beautiful teeth,
Yes.
they wouldn't have looked like that even in society ladies. Or...
And of course their faces were covered with wax as well to hide the pox and pustule marks. And the black ink was used for the beauty spot to be placed in deliberate places on the face, because that talked about your social availability, and the usage of the fan. The fan and the spot were forms of non-verbal communication to say things to either other ladies or men.